The pen is the tool of the journalists. This program is called Pens Down because this is where we get journalists to drop their working tool, the pen, and then they become the newsmakers, not the reporters or presenters. On this show, we take you behind the scenes and get journalists to tell you all that they go through before the stories you enjoy and the programs you enjoy come to you. Today, we are flying off to Nigeria, the world's most populated black country. And we are touching base with an assistant news editor of the Nation newspaper, Mr. Innocent Duru. His full profile will be shown to you on the screen while we go ahead with this conversation. It's an honor to have you on PENSDOWN, sir. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.
Right. How long have you been at it? In journalism, I mean.
Well, from the womb. Yeah. I am the only journalist in the whole world, or maybe probably one of them, that started journalism from the womb. So I'm proud of that. So if you want to know why, how?
Okay, so, okay, but I mean, in honing your skills to become that professional you are today, how did you discover that journalism was what was of interest to you professionally?
Well, like I said earlier on, it started from the womb. I have to go back to it because my father was a newspaper distributor and a vendor.
Okay.
So growing up, I used to tell people that I was born on top of newspaper. Because growing up, all I did was I was exposed to newspaper, reading newspaper, selling newspaper in Ibadan or your state. With barefoot, not wearing slippers, carry evening sketch after school hour, trekking from Dube to Challenge, shouting newspaper, buy newspaper, buy newspaper. Then later on, selling after school on Sunday and all that, daily papers. But all that period, it was not occurring to me that there was anything for me in journalism. And as time was going on, I was reading all those stories and they were sinking into me. You know, unconsciously, I was developing the skill of writing news and all that. But never occurred to me that this is what I would do for a living. In fact, for a long time, I was groveling in the dark about what should I do to earn a living in my life? Will I go into business? Will I go into this? So, and there was no money to go to higher institution. So, but along the way, I want to work somewhere as an office assistant. And that's just a way of calling it. But the main job was just messenger in the office. So I told them I wanted to be a businessman. They said, no, you can't be a businessman now. A young man like you, why not go to school? Why not do this? I said, school, okay. Who would train me? He said, no, don't worry, just manage. It should be fine. So I managed, saved money, trained myself in school with this support from my father. So I went to study mass comm. Before I studied I studied mass comm. When I came out, I was not really interested in journalism because the idea I had about journalism back then as a newspaper vendor was that the newspaper industry was going to collapse very soon back then because people were not selling. I'm talking as far back as early 80s, 90s, late 80s, 90s. People were not selling. And it was this fear, there was this fear in me that, look, guy, journalism is not the right place for you to go. So I was looking at doing something else. I also later had a mentor who told me that, hey, guy, if you want to be a journalist, don't be a print media journalist because they are poor, they are wretched. So you better be a broadcast journalist. So when I was in school, I went to study. I went through broadcasting. Hope that, okay, when I'm on tube, I'll get popular and I'll make the money and all that. But as fate will have it, I find myself in the print media. And I later discovered that while I was growing up, I would just take a notebook, start writing something, write something that looks a story. But I didn't know that all those things were something that were showing that journalism skills were in me from the beginning. I didn't know all this until later. And I said, oh, so what I was doing back then was actually signs that I'll be a journalist later in my life. So what I'm seeing in my head now that, okay, she will pick up, I say, oh, I begin to have my skills. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And 17 years or so down the line, I've never regretted it. It's been good for me.
Does journalism pay?
Well, you see, it pays depending on what you mean by pay.
Okay.
Pay in the sense that if you are coming into journalism, come and become a big boy, you may not do a journalism that has to do with touching lives. If you want to do a blackmail journalism, God will make more. But if you want to do journalism that is about development, developmental journalism, journalism that touches the life of the poor people, then you have to wait for a while to really make some money in life. Money in the sense of being comfortable and not in terms of being wealthy, stupendously wealthy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
But in the long run, you have your peace of mind. You know you are okay. What is wealth in the first place? The most important thing is that you are changing the life of the society. You are touching the lives of the hopeless, the voiceless. You are standing up for people who nobody will stand up for in life. So when you do that, you have done something. It pays in that sense. Number one, and in the long run, you begin to earn some money because your skills will make a way for you, like the scripture will say, in the areas of winning awards, getting the promotion in your office and all that, begin to pay. But if you want to make it big from the beginning, you may get stunted in life and you will not grow. But for me, it has paid. And I hope it will continue to pay better.
Yeah. What assignment or set of assignments will you stick out as the most challenging these almost 2 decades that you've been here?
One in particular. One was when I hadn't been to, when I was growing up I loved BBC Lions of Boko Football Club.
Okay.
So I developed this love for BCC, for Benue State.
Okay.
So I'd always love to visit the States. So when I got a grant to do a story in Benue State, I agree. I was happy that eventually I'm going to go and see Benue State. So when I went, the story was about how killer herdsmen were attacking Benue communities and killing people and in those communities in that state.
Okay.
So when I got to the place, I didn't know it was that bad. Especially when I went to Logo, where they are still killing people till tomorrow. When I got there, the guy that took me told me, okay, guy, drop your bag. We're going to visit some places now. When we got to those, where he took me on bike, as we were going, we got to a particular area, they called him because he was in charge of security. Say, guy, look, there people just left now. The headers are there. They're attacking people. I said, wow. Wow. I'm in danger. The guy said, look, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. Don't worry. You see what happened. I started calling the military. So immediately everywhere became rowdy. Military came in their van, started. The guy said, don't worry, be hearing gunshots now. Before you knew it, the whole place was in crisis. But even before I got to that place, to access the community, the vehicle that is bringing you and all the passengers have to disembark. You now enter into a wooden boat and travel through a large water, a big river. So when I saw that, I was like, God, what am I doing here? What has brought me here? What am I looking for? You know, when we got there, the community people, they were used to it, but it was strange to me. So as we were going on the river, I could not stand up. They were mocking me. I sat down. He said, hey, guys, stand up. I said, I cannot stand up, my friend, because I'm afraid. You know, when I came back, when I finished that assignment and returned, about 40 people drowned in that river.
Oh.
About 40 people got drowned inside that river. And that would not be the first time.
Wow.
So the atmosphere was warlike when I was covering that community, moving
Yeah.
from one place to the other. You could see the community members, they were on their toes. They could not sit down because each time they hear gunshots, everybody will have to be running. Everybody has to be running. The herders were killing children. They would cut them into two. They burnt down schools. They were killing even soldiers, they killed the general, removed his private parts.
Oh.
So it was so bad that everywhere we were going, we were not sure there was no ambush on the way. The guy would tell me, this place we passed now, yesterday they killed so and so number of people here. This place we are going here now. I said, my God, what am I looking for? Who is aware that I'm in this place? Who will come and save me? After leaving that place again, I went to another place where the former governor came from. It was terrible too. When we got there, they told me, guy, look, we could take you from point A to point B, but after point B, you cannot go further because we are not sure you come back alive. And those guys are there. Even security men, they were there. They said, look, those headers, they are there. If you go there, you will not come back alive. My brother, it was so terrible. I've never had that kind of experience before.
Wow.
Going through areas that were very uncertain because we didn't know where the headers were laying ambush.
Yes.
And it was on bike, so we're just prone. Anybody could have shot at us.
Yes.
So thank God I went and returned safely.
These 17 years you've been here, social media has also played its own role in how journalism is practiced today. From where you sit, how has social media altered the course or redefined the frontiers of journalism?
It has, because one, even before, the broadcast media used to enjoy the power of immediacy.
Yes.
But now that has gone. Before you carry your camera and your vehicle to drive to the scene of an accident, somebody has somewhere tweeted it. Somebody has somewhere taken the video, posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Somebody has somewhere shared it on Facebook, WhatsApp, and all that. So it's viral. So what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently? For us in the newspaper industry, it's worse because you are going to be coming out the following day.
Yeah.
The newspaper, the story you will get from the minister before exclusively, the minister has shared it on Twitter. The story you will get from the presidency before, they have shared it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all that. People have read it. So what's new are you bringing to the table? What are you going to sell to the people the following day? They will tell you, I read this in yesterday. So which means for us, we have to go extra mile.
Yes.
We have to do more than we're doing before. Unfortunately, there are a lot of obstacles. The finances are not there.
Yeah.
Cost of production has gone too high. So it's killing. And the people we want to even get additional information from, they're not willing. They will tell you, look, I've released information to you in the public. So what else do you want me to talk about? So if you are the one, you have read something online yesterday, and I'm serving you that same thing today, will you be willing to buy the newspaper?
Obviously, that's a repetition of what I don't need.
So it's repetition, regurgitating. So we are just like, I read this yesterday. You want me to go and buy monitor and be so it's a problem. But there's more we can do. I've always said it. That's why some of us who are not in the area of the aspect of, he said, and I quote, we are better off because we don't just come and feed you with what somebody said yesterday, today. We go beyond, we go beyond what has been reported. We go for exclusives, we go for the unreported issues, we go for the unreported communities. So we go for communities where voices are not heard. So that's why we're bringing some changes to the system. That's why sometimes we say that, okay, yeah, people want to buy a news story because one, there are stories that we have done, feature stories, investigative stories that the regular Twitter users, the regular Instagram users cannot do on their own. So that's what is still standing us out.
Let's look at social media. It has created richer bloggers in Africa than richer journalists.
Yes.
You and I are those who have been trained on how to use platforms of mass media communication to disseminate information and educate the public. What is it that we are not doing, which is why scarcely trained people in what we know are enjoying the benefits in leaps and bounds than we are doing?
One thing is this. I told you when we started the discussion that
Yes.
Some people engage in journalism for the purpose of blackmail.
That's right.
There's no ethics, no rules, no regulation. All they want to do is just come and look at, oh, Mr. Yang, oh, now you have done, I saw you yesterday kissing a woman by the corner. And if you don't play balls with me, I'm going to expose you. And because of your reputation, he said, look, gentlemen, I beg, just take $5,000 and let me be.
Yeah.
But as a professional journalist, you don't want to do that because you're not engaged in blackmail.
Yeah.
You're not engaged in blackmail, so you want to do things professionally. There are some stories you don't even consider such a serious issue for public interest. Because when we are dealing with economic issues, political issues, we are dealing with life-threatening issues, no hospitals. Yeah. Somebody's talking about somebody kissing somebody by the corner. But that's what the society wants. Yeah. The society wants gossip stories. They want all these stories that are just trending, things that are
sensational issues.
Oh, thank you very much. Sensational reports. But that's not what you and I are called for. Yes. We are here to serve, to make the society better. We are socially responsible. We are socially responsible. You know, that's one of their qualities as a job. We have to be socially responsible. But these guys are not socially responsible. Many of them have been to a place where they will gather and say, look, what is happening to that guy there? What can we say about him? They cook up something about the guy and they want to release this. So when they release this, the guy will pay them money, they'll go and put the story down. That's not good. They are not socially responsible. You're not going to build a better society by doing that. And that's not what you and Australian journalists are meant to do.
Right. Let me put you on the spot. In the line of duty, have you ever been offered anything, monetary or material, to either compromise the details of a story you were doing or completely trash it and then take it?
There's no how you're doing the kind of stories we do that people don't want to compromise you.
That's right.
That's not how. You see, that's why you have to choose between looking for money in journalism and serving the society. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
If I want to I tell myself, look, if I want to make money in journalism, I'm not going to be doing all this. Sometimes I ask myself, guy, look, what I do is kind of stories. You're not living the kind of life that you are expected of you in the society. You say, oh, you want to what, but what are that translated to? But the fact is that we're serving the society. Many occasions when they want to expose, people don't want to get exposed. People don't want to get want their secrets to be divulged. So when they were doing some reports, they want to come and say, look, guy, why not come and see me in my office? What they can even tell you on the phone, they will tell you, why not come to my office? Let us discuss this. Say, guy, there's something you want to talk about on the phone, your office that we cannot discuss on the phone. It's not my face that you want to see. I'm not a woman that's okay, maybe you want to fall in love with me along the line. So the fact is not that the phone is there. There's nothing you want to tell me. Yeah. You can tell me on the phone. I say, no, but it's not a phone discussion. But what is it that you want to talk about? So many of them are out to compromise you. But the fact is that the day you begin to get compromised, the day you mortgage your life, you mortgage your career. Because one, you'll not be taken seriously by society again. People cannot vouch for your integrity. And once you begin to compromise, you know those that you are dealing with, they are better than you at the game. They will go after your life and destroy you.
That's true.
But when do you know that they cannot compromise? You say, no, that guy, so that you give him what you want, you tell him your own side of the story, or you know that you're in trouble. So that's it. You have to make up your mind about what you want if you want to serve the society. But if you want to, like I tell people, if you are doing an investigative study and you are going to go and collect bribe, then you are digging your own grave.
That's true.
That's not
true.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at licensing of journalists. Will you throw your weight behind any attempts to license journalists, just as we have for lawyers and medical doctors?
Well, the answer to this is in two ways. One, because we have too many quacks.
Okay.
We have too many quacks. So it has become an open market for everybody. You just come, buy, sell with fake products, with contaminated products, with so that's not proper for us. It does not confer respect. Where somebody will come from one village tomorrow without any training and say, look, I want to practice journalism. I just begin to practice. So based on that, I'll say, yes, it's long overdue. We can't continue to practice this. For many years, we've been saying this. Let us do this, but nobody is doing it. It has remained a talk show. But we have to get serious about it. You have to save the life of this industry. You have to save the life of this profession. You don't have to allow all comers to come into. People have to go through training. In Nigeria, here we say the basic requirement for you to be a journalist is that you must have a diploma in journalism. But how many people have diploma in journalism? They don't. Somebody who has gone to study Yoruba language, Igbo language, Hausa language to come and tell you I'm a journalist. You may have the writing skill, but you don't have the training.
Yes.
You don't know the ethics. You don't know the rules and regulations guiding journalism. Journalism is not just a roadside profession. It's a profession, a recognized profession, and it requires practitioners to follow the rules and regulations. Requires the practitioners to abide by the ethics. But some people just come say, look, it's a money-making profession. Once you do, you know, some people come to journalism and tell you, oh, when you collect this ID card, you go for, or their mentality is just that you go for press conferences, you make money. And when you cannot get money at press conferences, you go there and be blackmailing people. So that's what quackery has brought into journalism. That's why what lack of license, lack of rules has brought into the profession.
Indeed, when I hosted the respected Mr. Lekontu for Duru, he summed it up this way. He said that the baseline for the practice of proper journalism is ethics. And I think that until you are ethically principled and disciplined, you will not be able to fully appreciate and make the kind of impact that society expects.
You are supposed to make in the industry. That's my boss. It was my boss. We together here before.
Okay. Yeah. I had one of the most exciting and deep conversations with him on this platform. He's very knowledgeable in issues of media, journalism. And then there's one thing he said. He said, a lot of media houses are so obsessed with journalists working that they hardly pay attention to the welfare of journalists. You know, that the story is breaking here. Follow this story for me. Call this person, interview this. You know, those instructions, the routine newsroom instructions that go. Is it that, I mean, we as journalists are supposed to be watchdogs of the society. Now, when a watchdog is hungry and that watchdog is watching over a meal, sumptuous enough to tempt him, how does the person stay at posts without being compromised by the, you know, aromatic flavors coming from the meal?
Yes, that's another problem we have in the industry. Like I told you earlier, when somebody who was my mentor told me, said, look, don't go into print journalism because you'll end up being poor. Because he saw it as, particularly in print journalism, where nobody knows if I'm walking on the road now, nobody knows me.
Yes.
But if you who are on tube is walking on the road, say, oh, that's it, you know him. That's so somebody will say, oh, come and take, oh, I love your show, take. But me as a print journalist, nobody knows me, I'm invincible.
That's right.
So many people in this profession are poor because one, poor wage. The wage is poor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about Ghana, but in this country, Nigeria, journalists are poorly paid.
That's a fact here.
Journalists are poorly paid. As I speak to you now, there are some organizations that have not paid their workers for the past 6 months.
We have similar situations in Ghana too. Some work they don't get paid at all.
So how do you want those people to survive, if not through brand envelope? So aside from ethical issues, the newsrooms themselves, the media industry, the media owners are also breaking the rules.
Yeah.
They are not following the ethics. They are enabling people to break the ethical requirements of the profession. But when you don't pay the workers, definitely they will compromise. That's the fact. Even I'm telling you the fact. If I have rent to pay, I have children to feed, I have myself to take care of, I have dependents, and I'm not being paid for 6 months, and somebody offers me 50,000 naira bribe somewhere, my brother, it will only take a grace of God for me not to take it. Yeah. Because I cannot go, some people are on medication. How do they cope? How do you transport yourself from your house to the office and expected to come to the office? How do you go and cover assignments when they're not paid? So these are critical issues. And all also boils down to the economy of our country, Nigeria here. I don't know about Ghana because I have to make reference to what I don't know.
Okay.
I speak about what I know. The economy is on the nails. So how many people are buying the newspaper? If not for advertisers who are helping to keep the industry running, the industry is in a comatose. The comatose. Just about, if it's not taking in a short time, or you just go down to the grave. But you know all the challenges, but the government especially will also help. The government will help by looking at how can we salvage this industry, and how can we also. But the problem is that when government begins to help the media industry, you cannot criticize the government. You cannot buy the finger that feeds you.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Problem here.
Let's talk about these years. What moments stand out as golden for you? Your golden memories.
2021. Will remember indelibly in my heart.
Okay.
It was unfortunately I don't have a video recording of the award ceremony.
Okay.
In Kogi State, where I won 5 awards that night.
Wow.
I think it was, I broke the record that the year. I'm not sure anybody has won or had won or till tomorrow has won that number of awards at a go.
Wow.
The whole hall stood up clapping for me. The whole everybody was running after me to have my number, to shake hands with me. The governor stood up 2 times to shake hands with me. So it was a memory that will never go off in my life. It was a day I felt very, very proud being a journalist. So somebody even said, "Oh, he called me. Okay, I'm sure if my life will be very happy you achieve this feat." So because as a newspaper vendor, somebody will say, "Oh, guy, you are being, I'm proud of you from being a newspaper vendor to becoming an award-winning journalist." You know, and father would have been happier to say, "Oh, my son, who was selling newspaper back then, now has become is great in journalism." So that night remains indelible in my heart.
Wow. If we are to go back into time,
I've gone ahead to win years. For that day was special because after winning that day, yes.
Yes, I was asking. Please complete what you are saying, and then I'll come in with my question. Sorry.
Yeah. So that same year was when I now won international organization for migration award. It's not a
Okay.
local award. It's a West and Central African award. So like an international award for me. So that year was just a kind of great one for me, winning massively locally and going internationally to win. And after winning those 5 awards, somebody who was not happy about it took to the back of a newspaper, back page of a newspaper to condemn me, saying that how could one person win 5 awards? How can one player win the best player, best striker, best defender, best midfielder? But in my heart, I just said, look, somebody could get distinction in mathematics, in English language, in history, in all subjects, and
That's
at them
right.
they be crowned given distinction. So
That's right.
what kind of analogy was that? It was what we call bad belly in Nigeria.
If we are to go back into time, 20 years, are you still going to choose journalism for a profession?
I'm not getting younger. And but let me be sincere with you. It's a thing I love doing so much that when I'm not writing, I feel like something is missing in me. There's something, a part of me that's not alive. But that's what I've been doing day in, day out. So I'm not going to stop journalism at all, because like I said, if you check my profile, all my life and as a journalist, I never covered any beats. I don't know about beat journalism. I never covered any beats. I never went through anybody, okay, groom him. I've just always been journalist, writing features and going into investigation. So later in life, when I stumbled on migration reporting, it caught my interest. I said, wow, what kind of thing is this? And since then, I've developed so much interest and love for migration reporting, and that made me to establish a website on migration, because I want to keep abreast with the developments in the migration world, and also be a player in the industry. So that's my area of strength in journalism now, if I may say that, because I am working with many organizations locally and internationally too on migration issues. So even if I'm going to leave as time goes on, like I said, I'm not getting younger, but I'm not going to leave my migration reporting, because I want to keep the discussion at the forefront, at the front burner, because a lot of things are happening around it. And I also need to mentor people. Like I was asked when I won an award some few weeks ago, that guy, you've always been winning, so what are you doing? So I want to mentor people. I want to groom people to also become better than I am. And also, once a soldier is always a soldier. I can never leave journalism completely, but maybe as time goes on, I have to step aside a little bit and some other things.
Talking about stepping aside, attrition in journalism is really high. So many highly qualified professionals keep abandoning the craft. Some of them go into public relations, corporate communication, some of them politics, and several other places that will absorb them. From where you sit, what is accounting for this high rate of attrition journalism is suffering?
One is that journalism, like football, it's like a football. The football game, it takes a lot of your energy. It's energy sapping. It taxes your brain a lot. So as you're getting older, you want to relax a little bit and do some softer things. That, as a journalist, you don't have weekends, you don't have a weekday, you don't have public holiday, you don't have anything.
No social life.
No social. As I'm speaking to you now, I've been in the office since yesterday. I'm in the office now. I just had my bath this morning because of you. I was supposed to be sleeping because we finished around past 12 or to 1 a.m. So now I have to quickly get myself ready for this interview. So, and I'll not go home until tomorrow morning.
Wow.
So my family will not see me every day, every weekend, from Friday to Sunday. So I don't think that's what I want to continue to do for a long time to come.
Yeah.
Because when you leave home, your children are looking at you sadly, even though you are going to work for what to bring food to the table.
That's
Daddy,
right.
you are going again. Even on Christmas Day, you carry your bag. Say, as today Christmas again, I'm going. I have to go and walk. So that's not one thing you want to continue to do. People want to also take their place. Then also again, back to the issue of money. When a player in Nigeria once said, when he was interviewed, he said, money is the name of the game. No matter how much you want to be of service to the society, if you are not able to take care of yourself in the long run, you will be a problem to the society.
Yes.
So people are now quitting to go and do other jobs that will fetch them better pay. I know how many of our colleagues are struggling to get government appointments because they know that it's juicy there. Many are going to the PR. A lot of my PR people, my friends who are working in PR, they say, guys, what are you doing in that journalism? You're not going to make any money there. They are riding big cars, living in big houses, living in better areas than I do. But, you know, it's because of this love or the passion for the job that has kept us going. But at the end of the day, passion will not pay your bills in the long run. So that's why many people are leaving to go and do other things so that they will not be poor and become reference points. That's how journalists end up wretched.
Will you encourage maybe your child or a mentee that walks up to you that they are considering becoming journalists in future? If you will, what will you tell them to do differently, maybe from the way you have gone about yours?
In my life, I've learned not to discourage anybody from what except it's for evil.
Okay.
Because what does not work for A may work for B.
Yes.
Some of my colleagues who came into this profession and left sadly and were discouraged, we don't go into journalism. I have a different story from theirs today. I have a better story to tell. So my daughter is having that flair. No, I'm not discouraging. I said, look, if this is what you want for yourself, you have my support 100%.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do differently? Yes, we can do something differently. You cannot do the same thing the same way and expect a different result.
That's right.
The face of journalism is changing. It's no longer the time where you just sit down and depend on somebody to give you press releases, to give you stories. You have to go for the stories by yourself. It has come to the area of creativity. You have to be creative about it. You have to do a lot of reading. You have to do a lot of investigation, a lot of findings. And when you do that, it will stand you out. It will stand you out. Now, as bad as we think the industry is creating opportunities for people globally. Before now, we didn't have so many awards coming up locally and internationally. We have so many of them. Some of them paying people as much as hundreds of thousands of millions. Thousands of millions, what we not get in other industry. They've had my colleague here who won the international award. What's the name of this award? Festival Award. He won the award. The other guys who have won this, who have gone ahead to even establish their own foundations and websites and are doing fantastically well. Not those that blackmail.
Yes.
Those who are doing real journalism, who are into investigative journalism, they are standing out. So what our advice is that don't go into journalism to say, I want to go and put a microphone in somebody's mouth and say, well, what do you think about, what is your name? How do you feel about Nigeria? No, we should go beyond that and go for the unreported reports that will stand us out. If you watch now, the guy just did a report now about fake how universities in francophone countries issue certificates within 6 weeks. The guy was unknown before. Now it's been known all over.
Yes.
Tomorrow you go ahead to win awards, you win fellowships, travel all over. So it's not going to be the same anymore. You go to get bigger jobs and all that. So that's why you don't discourage people and say, look, there are still a lot of opportunities in this industry if you do the right thing. If you don't go on depending on Brian video, that's why you don't encourage people to go for Brian video. Like I said before, I've not discouraged people from taking Brian video, but because I've not covered the beats before, it's not something I rely on.
Yes.
When you're covering, doing investigation and you are doing feature stories, nobody will offer you Brian. Rather that you pay people to get stories.
Yeah.
You pay to get information. So, but those who do the daily reporting and who need to use that for survival, I don't condemn them. I don't condemn anybody, as long as you are not blackmailing somebody. But the fact is that for you to survive, to do well, going forward, you must not do this. Do it as it was in the beginning. No, you must do it differently.
Maybe this will be my final question.
Okay.
Political ownership of the media. We have a number of politicians or politically exposed persons who have set up media houses across Africa, in Nigeria, a number of them, in Ghana, so many, in various African countries. Is this practice healthy for our democracy? Are we sitting on a time bomb, or there is no cause for alarm?
There is cause for alarm. But without them, there will be no industry. There's cause for alarm, and without them, there will be no industry.
That leaves us between the devil and the deep blue sea.
And yes, exactly. Because one, the industry is not a money-making one. No businessman wants to come and dump his money somewhere where he will not make the quick money, for that matter. Even in journalism, you cannot make quick money. You can't even make profits nowadays. It's difficult to make profits. So nobody wants to do that. People want to go into oil and gas where they know that if I put my money here, the next minute I know what I'll get. They want to put their money in ICT where they make money. So that's where we are stuck. The people that are willing to do it, they are doing it for particular interest. They have their own interests attached to it, to protect, to further my political ambition, to protect my image, to fight my political enemies. So we have no choice. It's very rare. Even the online organizations, online media that claim to be independent,
that's right.
They take funds from organizations, and you cannot attack anything that's of interest to those funders. You can't. You cannot go contrary to the rules and regulations of those funders. So there's a problem. So if this industry cannot survive on its own, it's going to be a problem going forward. It has always been a problem, and it will be worse as we go forward, as we have more politicians coming into the industry to come and invest in it, because you have to, who pays the piper, they pays the tune. You cannot speak against the man who is feeding you. The day you are ready to do that, you're ready to leave your job.
I said that was my last question, but one just came up.
It's normal. It's normal. You know, yes, I know.
Journalists never run out of questions. Has your life ever been threatened in the line of duty, or as a result of one story or the other you have done?
Sincerely, if I have my way, I would not do reports on human trafficking anymore.
Okay.
It's not a story people are happy about. It's a story that can take your life the next minute if you're not careful. But because we need to save life, we need to save people who are being dragged into this, whose life are being endangered by these wicked people who are trying to profit from selling human beings. You cannot give up on it. You have to keep exposing them. You have to keep talking about it. Unfortunately, you don't even know who a trafficker is. A trafficker could be the next person beside you. Could be your brother. and you are busy talking about it. So the next thing you see is that somebody's coming after you. I did a story recently on human trafficking. And if you check, I had to pull off my pictures and everything from the social media because I started seeing people trailing me, sending me, oh, come, why not come? Want to see me for what? The woman that is a big woman in the UK. And I just told myself, I started having fears everywhere. The fear paralyzed me because I didn't know who was coming after me the next minute. But Mama told me, look, would that be, they will not shoot more than one gun. But we are making sure that we are liberating people from the bondage of these people. It's a terrible business people are doing in the name of making money. Can't keep quiet about it. Unfortunately, the people were the government officials, when you even try to do this, they want to talk you down as if they don't give you the necessary support. They want to look at it as if you are trying to talk them down. They don't want to give you the right responses. And when you talk, they begin to like shout, to call you names that you are trying to mess them up. But the fact is that we are doing this for no pecuniary gain. I've been doing this without asking anybody for money, without lobbying anybody for help. I do it just for the purpose, for the sake of humanity, that you can't continue to drag. If you see what they do to people in the name of making money, a lady has to pay her sacrifice with her life, who I did that report not quite long, who was trying to monitor them. They got this lady, butchered her. That's how bad they are. Once they know that you're always on their case, they want to eliminate you. So we can't keep quiet, because once we keep quiet, they will continue to do more harm to the society. So that's one story that I've done that's made life unbearable. But that's not the only one, that particular, because it's more recent. But I will not give up about it. We have to continue to talk about it. Human trafficking is a crime against humanity. We have to eliminate it. When the whites were here engaging in slavery, we condemned it. So why would our people also be dragging their fellow human beings into slavery, turning them to animals? So it's condemnable. We should not allow it to thrive. Every right-thinking person should learn his virtues and say, look, no to human trafficking, no to child trafficking. It's not good for society. So let them repent, that the people in the religious sector will say that let them repent and give up that evil trade. They can do something better with their lives.
Let me pull the brakes here. Thank you very much for this conversation. I appreciate the thoughts and submissions you've shared with us on PENSDOWN. We are truly grateful for your time, sir. Thank you so very much.
I must appreciate you, and I must apologize for the delay. All this while you've been trying to get me, but it's been difficult. But today I have to just like say, no, enough is enough.
I understand the nature of our job and the fact that we don't control our time. So sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah, so thanks so much. And I hope I answered you well.
Oh, yes. Right on point. Very well articulated.
Thank you,
thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. This has been PENSDOWN. Today we went to Nigeria, and an assistant news editor of the Nation newspaper joined us, Mr. Innocent Duru. He's shared his thoughts, he's talked about his journalism journey, and touched on a few media matters. We are back next time with another colleague, and the menu here will still be the same, journalism journeys. That is what we'll be talking. Thanks for joining us, and bye for now.